I found his address, right? So this is what I said, hey, man, listen, I'm not going back and forth with you on there. I could pull up to XXS address or this address, or I could pull up to the barbershop you be at, and you go to this barbershop. Yo, that nigga was so spooked. And he was like, I feel threatened. I'm stop talking to you. Yeah, you goddamn right, motherfucker. And I put that nigga address on that shit. And niggas was like, oh, you got to take that down. You go get, like, first of all, it's public knowledge.
Right.
If I Google that shit, if you Google a
it.
motherfucking name, you can find that shit easily.
Right.
So is that snitching? Am I snitching on where this nigga live? Hey, fuck this racist ass nigga. I'll pull up at your spot, man, and we can have that conversation face to face.
He doesn't want to do that.
That's what I thought. Anyway,
did you just really? Hey, did you? I'm sorry, but did you just really like size the camera, man? And stared at it.
Blues, nigga, run it.
You know, everybody knows the Chris Rock joke, the difference between black people and niggas, right?
Right.
I think in similar fashion, there is a difference between white people and white people. Like the WYPIPO versus WHITEPEOPLE, right?
So you feel like there's
now
white people?
Yeah, exactly.
People.
So there are white people who are allies, right? I believe there are white people who are allies.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But then there are people who defend the bullshit. So I got in the argument, and not even an argument. So there was if you seen after the conviction, right, the judge released a statement. I don't know if you read that.
Mm-hmm.
The judge released a statement. I don't remember what exactly it said, but it said something to the nature of, you know, everybody might not be happy with this verdict. We're trying to fight against, like, the stigmas of systematically, yada, yada, yada. It said a lot of bullshit. But the key phrase in there was like, everyone might not agree with this verdict. And I'm like, who the fuck doesn't agree that this bitch killed this nigga? Who the fuck don't agree with that? Like, I don't understand who doesn't agree with that.
Well,
but check this out. So within that, I got some comments under that shit. And a motherfucker, if I could remember his name off the top of my head, I would say that shit on air. But fuck this. So an old white dude responds, he was like, well, why do you think she killed him? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? What kind of dumbass question is that? Like, ask her. And he was like, oh, see, I knew you were going to say that, or you were going to use the race card. So we go through a back and forth of why this nigga is racist. And here's the thing, right? So we talk about snitching. Mm-hmm. I'm not and tell me if this is snitching or not. Leave this shit in the comments. So people talk online with a sense of safety. Right. Because they feel they're anonymous, they feel they are in their home. I am safe behind this computer keyboard. I can say what the fuck I want to.
It's equivalent to a person in a car. Like a person that's driving in their car.
Yeah.
Like, you ever be beside a person and you driving in their car, they just be talking shit, they just tough as shit with them doors locked. Same thing. I mean, it's all types of keyboard thugs. That's what you call them.
So, exactly, right? So, check this out. So, he's saying some wild shit. Now, what people fail to realize, this is a little harder on, like, Twitter and Instagram. But on Facebook, nigga, you guys better cut it the fuck out. Because this is what I did, right? So, he's talking shit to me. He said some racist shit. I'm like, oh, okay. So, I commence to go to his page. I see where he works. I look up his name. Find his address in less than 5 seconds. Like, my G, you don't have anonymity. It's just non-existent in this age.
No privacy,
you can be found, motherfucker. You can be found. And I found this nigga. I found his address, right? So this is what I said. I said, hey, man, listen, I'm not going back and forth with you on there. I could pull up to XXS address or this address, or I could pull up to the barbershop you be at, and you go to this barbershop. Yo, that nigga was so spooked. And he was like, I feel threatened. I'm stop talking to you. Yeah, you goddamn right, motherfucker. And I put that nigga address on that shit. And niggas was like, oh, you got to take that down. You go get, like, First of all, it's public knowledge.
Right.
If I Google that shit,
Google,
if you Google a
post it.
motherfucking name, you can find that shit easily.
Right.
So is that snitching? Am I snitching on where this nigga live? Hey, fuck this racist ass nigga. I'll pull up at your spot, man, and we can have that conversation face to face.
He doesn't want to do that.
That's what I thought. Anyway,
did you just really? Hey, did you? I'm sorry, but did you just really like size the camera, man? And stared at it. I wonder if he's gonna see that. You took time out of your day. I wonder if he's gonna see that. He's watching, huh? You should post this on his page.
Oh shit, I will. I am going to actually. Fuck these niggas, man.
Tag him like, hey, got something for you, buddy.
Yeah, I might. On some real shit, I'm gonna tag this nigga name in the show notes on some real shit. Y'all look that motherfucker up. Nah, don't do that, man. Because somebody told me I could get locked up if something happened to this motherfucker because I posted his address. That's some real shit.
I don't know,
Is that
bro.
real?
Bro, that's new right there. You got to Google that one.
Yeah, man. Is that snitching? Yeah, fuck this nigga.
Yeah, somebody might have been. Anybody can look up your address.
That's what I'm saying. That shit
knowledge.
public information. How am I telling on a nigga?
But shit, you can't hide from nobody no goddamn way.
Yeah, you know what I heard?
What?
Speaking of what you said about taking a rap for your son, I don't know how true this shit is, but everybody, like this nigga OJ is out here living his life.
Yeah.
Right? You see this nigga making videos, playing fantasy football, all that shit, man. This nigga's out here living. But I think most black society we know he did it. We was only happy because he was the first nigga to actually beat the system.
I used to be like, alright, the nigga got away with it. Now, after seeing the OJ documentary and some more facts,
He didn't do
the
it.
nigga didn't do it.
I don't think he did it.
There's a theory, but there's a theory.
There was someone else.
No. Check the theory. The theory is it was actually his son, and he was covering for that nigga.
But I heard the theory was some other shit, and it was another person that was involved with old girl. Because Paul Mooney already told you like 1,000 times, hey man, she was a bitch, man. She was a whore. OJ didn't kill that bitch. OJ had nothing to do with
You
that.
know one thing though, gloves don't really fit if they not.
Quit. If the glove don't fit, you got to quit.
Medium and that bitch is small, that bitch is
Not yours.
Hey, nigga, on some
And they
real
talking
shit, I
about-
tried to put on nigga. My hands as big as a motherfucker.
But
I
they
can't-
talking about he tried to make his arthritis in
yeah,
his
make his
hand
fingers swell up.
swell up and shit. What the fuck? Who y'all got? I'm gonna make these motherfuckers swell up at night. We gotta go to court.
got arthritis activated.
Yeah, like we gotta go to court in the morning. You know what to
But you
do?
know what's funny, man? They ain't leave that nigga alone. They made sure they got him for something.
Oh yeah, but he got out though.
He got out, but what they give him like 20 years for some
Got him.
some
Yeah.
bullshit?
They
Yeah,
got that dude for taking his own shit
his
back.
own shit back.
His own shit.
Yeah,
Now,
we live in a nation where niggas like. So there was a video. Shout out to Diesel Greasel, man. He had posted a video online about, and it was a black woman going to a nursing home in
Mhm.
Killeen, and she was trying to get her dad's medical records, right?
mhm.
And so in the video, you hear her talking very calmly. She don't not raise her voice not one time. She didn't say nothing smart to the nigga. She just asked this nigga some simple questions, right? And so in the video, you hear her talking. She's like, she's like, the woman told me that I could come to this day to pick up the records. I came that day. They weren't ready. I've been here 3 days in a row. She keep telling me,
Mhm.
yada, yada, yada. And dude's like, oh, it has to go through corporate, yada, yada, yada. And she's like, oh, well, she didn't tell me that before. Can you show me the policy on that? This nigga's just like, you know what? You can leave. You're getting an attitude. You're getting a little aggressive. I'm going to have to call the cops. Yo. And the woman was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? The cops come. The cops are like, and you guys can look this video up.
That's crazy.
And the cop comes and she's like, all I asked was for the medical records. And like, he called you and pretty much made a false report. I haven't yelled not one time.
Right.
And the cop is like, he's like, well, you're gonna have to get off as trespassing. He says it a few times. And then she's like, well, can I ask you a question? She's like, is it illegal for you to call and make a false report? And he's like, you know what, bitch, go to your car. Like wilding on him. I'm like, yo. But that's my point, man.
Hey, how did the officer respond when he did that?
Yo, the woman was like, all right, man, I'm just supposed to go. But they was both super aggressive to her. And the funny thing is, like, I think this is we live in this country where, like, yo, you get seen as a threat when you're being aggressed. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
that whole shit of like, I'm gonna say some wild shit to you, and if you even remotely respond, like, I'm gonna play the victim.
No, it's not the response. It's the way you respond. Like, they get upset when you respond very educated. Calmly.
That kill them.
Calmly. Like, if you respond to them calm, oh, they don't like that shit.
Yeah, that's
when you get all rowdy and out of control, oh, you a nigga. Now you ain't feel right no
like
track.
you gotta be a nigga.
Right, but it's a way you can get wild and out of control with them. But you still gotta get like a British black man with their ass. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta be.
You gotta get Idris Elba out of this.
Yes, you gotta be professional with your words. And you gotta drop your F-bombs at the right time. You can't just be throwing the motherfuckers all over the place. Cause you'll fuck them up with that. You gotta drop them at the right time, and you gotta know how to talk. But if you respond like you say, educated, oh bro, that boils them. Boils a cop, boils any of them. Have you ever seen the videos like where when dudes get pulled over by the cops?
Yeah.
And they calmly know they shit.
Yeah.
Oh, the cop be bad, the motherfucker.
They be hot. But then the white dude get pulled over. God damn it, motherfucker!
Exactly.
Why'd you pull me over, fucking asshole? Jesus Christ, nigga ripping up the ticket and everything.
Shit. I'm not signing anything.
I'm not signing a goddamn thing.
Hey, when the white man says,
what's your badge number?
When they say bullshit, they're mad. It's bullshit. You know it. And when they say you know it behind it, and you know it, Dale. This is bullshit. Give me your number. Batch number now. In the morning, I'm gonna have both of your jobs.
Blues, nigga, run it.